Welcome to our journey into the fascinating world of simulating evolutionary processes. Evolution is the gradual change in the characteristics of living organisms over generations. By simulating these processes, scientists and enthusiasts alike can observe how life adapts, survives, and thrives in changing environments. In this video, we'll explore the core concepts behind evolution, the methods used to simulate it, and the insights we can gain from these simulations. Whether you're a student, a researcher, or simply curious about the wonders of life, this exploration will provide a clear and engaging overview of how evolution shapes the diversity of life on Earth. Evolution is a natural process where populations of organisms change over time. This change is driven by genetic variation, inheritance, and natural selection. Through countless generations, small genetic differences accumulate, leading to the development of new traits and sometimes entirely new species. Understanding evolution helps us make sense of the incredible diversity of life we see today, from the tiniest bacteria to the largest mammal. By simulating evolution, we can observe these changes in a controlled environment, allowing us to test hypotheses and visualize the process in action. Simulating evolutionary processes allows us to study how life adapts to different challenges without waiting for real-world changes to unfold over thousands or millions of years. These simulations can reveal patterns and outcomes that might be difficult or impossible to observe in nature. For example, we can test how a population responds to a sudden environmental shift or how different mutation rates affect survival. Simulations also help us understand the underlying mechanisms of evolution, making complex concepts more accessible and easier to visualize. To simulate evolution effectively, it's important to understand its key components: genetic variation, mutation, selection, and inheritance. Genetic variation provides the raw material for evolution, while mutations introduce new traits. Natural selection determines what traits are advantageous, and inheritance ensures that successful traits are passed on to future generations. By modeling these components, simulations can mimic the real-world processes that drive evolutionary change. Genetic variation refers to the differences in DNA among individuals within a population. These differences can result from mutations, gene shuffling during reproduction, and other processes. Variation is crucial because it provides the diversity needed for natural selection to act upon. Without genetic variation, populations would struggle to adapt to changing environments, making them more vulnerable to extinction. Simulations often start with a diverse population to observe how traits spread or disappear over time. Mutations are random changes in an organism's genetic code. These changes can introduce new traits, some of which may be beneficial, neutral, or harmful. In simulations, mutation rates can be adjusted to see how quickly new traits appear and spread. By observing the effects of mutations, we can better understand how innovation occurs in nature and how populations evolve over time. Natural selection is the process by which certain traits become more common in a population, because they offer a survival or reproductive advantage. In simulations, we can set up environments where only individuals with specific traits survive or reproduce. Over time, these traits become more prevalent, demonstrating how natural selection shaped populations. This process helps explain why certain adaptations like camouflage or resistance to disease are common in nature. Inheritance is the process by which traits are passed from parents to offspring. In simulations, inheritance rules determine how genetic information is transferred between generations. By modeling inheritance, we can observe how traits persist, disappear, or combine in new ways. This aspect of simulation helps us understand the long-term effects of genetic changes and the stability of certain traits within a population. Begin simulating evolution. We first define the population, environment, and rules for mutation, selection, and inheritance. The initial population might consist of digital organisms with randomly assigned traits. The environment can be set to favor certain traits such as speed or camouflage. By carefully choosing these parameters, we can create a virtual world that mirrors the challenges faced by real organisms. Many simulations, digital organisms are used as stand-ins for real-life creatures. These virtual beings have traits encoded in their digital DNA such as size, speed, or color. By observing how these traits change over generations, we can gain insights into the dynamics of evolution. Digital organisms allow for rapid experimentation and can help us test ideas that would be difficult to study in the wild. Fitness in evolutionary terms refers to an organism's ability to survive and reproduce in its environment. In simulations, fitness functions are used to determine which individuals are most likely to pass on their genes. By adjusting these functions, we can explore how different selection pressures affect the evolution of a population. This helps us understand why certain traits become common while others fade away. Selection pressure refers to environmental factors that influence which traits are advantageous. For example, in a cold environment, thicker fur might be favored. In simulations, we can introduce different selection pressures to see how populations respond. This allows us to test scenarios like climate change, disease outbreaks, or food scarcity, and observe how these challenges drive evolutionary change. The rate at which mutations occur can have a significant impact on evolution. High mutation rates can introduce more diversity but may also lead to harmful changes. Low mutation rates might slow down adaptation. By adjusting mutation rates in simulations, we can observe how populations balance the need for innovation with the risk of negative mutations. Genetic drift is a random process that can cause traits to become more or less common in a population, especially in small groups. Unlike natural selection, genetic drift is not driven by survival advantage. In simulations, we can observe how chance events, like a sudden drop in population size, can lead to unexpected changes in genetic makeup. Speciation is the process by which new species arise. In simulations, we can model scenarios where populations become isolated and evolve independently. Over time, genetic differences accumulate, leading to the emergence of distinct species. This process helps us understand the origins of biodiversity and the branching patterns seen in the tree of life. Adaptive landscapes are visual representations of how different traits affect an organism's fitness. Peaks represent high fitness, while valleys indicate low fitness. In simulations, populations move across these landscapes as they evolve, seeking higher fitness. This concept helps us visualize the challenges and opportunities faced by evolving populations. Environment plays a crucial role in shaping evolutionary outcomes. Changes in climate, food availability, or the presence of predators can all influence which traits are favored. Simulations allow us to manipulate environmental variables and observe how populations adapt. This helps us understand the dynamic relationship between organisms and their surroundings. Size of a population can affect the speed and direction of evolution. Large populations tend to have more genetic diversity, which can speed up adaptation. Small populations are more susceptible to genetic drift and random events. By adjusting population size in simulations, we can explore these effects and see how they influence evolutionary outcomes. Extinction events, such as natural disasters or disease outbreaks, can dramatically alter the course of evolution. In simulations, we can introduce sudden challenges to see how populations respond. Some traits may become more valuable, while others disappear entirely. This helps us understand the resilience of life and the factors that contribute to survival or extinction. Migration occurs when individuals move between populations, bringing new genetic material with them. This process, known as gene flow, can increase diversity and introduce new traits. In simulations, we can model migration events to see how they affect the genetic makeup of populations and promote adaptation. Sexual selection is a form of natural selection where certain traits increase an individual's chances of attracting a mate. In simulations, we can model mate choice and competition to see how traits like bright colors or elaborate displays evolve. This adds another layer of complexity to evolutionary dynamics and helps explain the diversity of behaviors seen in nature. Coevolution occurs when two or more species influence each other's evolution. For example, predators and prey may develop adaptations in response to each other. In simulations, we can model these interactions to see how they drive evolutionary change and lead to complex relationships between species. Diseases can exert strong selection pressures on populations. In simulations, we can introduce pathogens and observe how populations evolve resistance or susceptibility. This helps us understand the arms race between hosts and diseases and the factors that influence the spread and control of infectious agents. Artificial selection is when humans intentionally select for specific traits, such as in breeding crops or animals. In simulations, we can model artificial selection to see how quickly traits can change under strong human influence. This process demonstrates the power of selection and the ways humans have shaped the evolution of domesticated species. Evolutionary algorithms are computer programs inspired by natural evolution. They use mechanisms like mutation, selection, and inheritance to solve complex problems. By simulating evolution in a digital environment, these algorithms can find optimal solutions to challenges in fields like engineering, design, and artificial intelligence. One of the benefits of simulating evolution is the ability to visualize changes over time. Graphs, charts, and animations can show how traits spread, populations grow or shrink, and new species emerge. These visual tools make it easier to understand complex processes and communicate findings to a wider audience. While simulations are powerful tools, they have limitations. They rely on simplified models and assumptions that may not capture all the complexities of real-world evolution. It's important to interpret simulation results with caution and consider the factors that might be missing or oversimplified. Simulating evolutionary processes has practical applications in many fields. In medicine, it helps predict how diseases might evolve resistance to drugs. In agriculture, it guides the breeding of crops with desirable traits. In technology, evolutionary algorithms solve optimization problems. These applications demonstrate the value of understanding and modeling evolution. Let's look at a case study involving bacterial evolution. By simulating the growth of bacteria under different antibiotic pressures, researchers can observe how resistance develops. These simulations help inform treatment strategies and the development of new drugs to combat antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Another fascinating example is the evolution of camouflage. By simulating populations of prey animals in different environments, we can observe how coloration and patterns evolve to help them avoid predators. These simulations provide insights into the arms race between predators and prey and the role of natural selection in shaping appearance. Digital evolution involves simulating the evolution of computer programs or virtual organisms. These simulations can reveal how complex behaviors emerge from simple rules. By studying digital evolution, researchers gain insights into the principles that govern both artificial and natural systems. Simulating evolution is a powerful educational tool. It allows students to experiment with variables, observe outcomes, and develop a deeper understanding of evolutionary principles. Interactive simulations make learning engaging and help demystify complex scientific concepts. There are many tools available for simulating evolutionary processes, from simple classroom models to advanced computer programs. Some popular options include NetLogo, Avida, and EvoSim. These tools offer a range of features, making it easy for beginners and experts alike to explore evolution in action. One of the strengths of evolutionary simulations is their flexibility. Users can customize parameters like population size, mutation rate, selection pressure, and environmental conditions. This allows for a wide range of experiments and the ability to test specific hypotheses about evolutionary dynamics. After running a simulation, it's important to analyze the results. This involves looking at how traits changed over time, which individuals survived, and how populations adapted. By interpreting these outcomes, we can draw conclusions about the factors that drive evolution and the predictability of evolutionary change. Designing effective simulations requires careful consideration of which factors to include and how to model them. Too much simplification can lead to misleading results, while overly complex models may be difficult to interpret. Striking the right balance is key to creating simulations that are both informative and manageable. Simulating evolution, especially when modeling real-world scenarios, raises ethical questions. For example, how should we use insights from simulations in areas like medicine or agriculture? It's important to consider the potential impacts and responsibilities that come with this powerful tool. The field of evolutionary simulation is constantly evolving. Advances in computing power, data analysis, and modeling techniques are opening up new possibilities. In the future, we may see even more realistic and detailed simulations that help us answer fundamental questions about life and evolution. Simulating evolutionary processes often involves collaboration between biologists, computer scientists, and mathematicians. By working together, these experts can create more accurate and insightful models. Collaboration also fosters innovation and helps ensure that simulations address real-world challenges. Simulations can be a powerful way to engage the public with science. Interactive models and visualizations make complex ideas accessible and spark curiosity. By sharing simulations, scientists can inspire the next generation of researchers and foster a deeper appreciation for the natural world. Human evolution is a particularly intriguing area for simulation. By modeling ancient populations, migrations, and environmental changes, researchers can explore how our species adapted and diversified. These simulations shed light on our origins and the factors that shaped modern humans. Evolution isn't limited to biology. Cultural evolution explores how ideas, behaviors, and technologies spread and change over time. Simulations can model the transmission of culture, helping us understand trends, innovation, and the evolution of societies. Despite decades of research, many questions about evolution remain unanswered. Simulations provide a way to test new ideas and explore scenarios that are difficult to study in nature. By pushing the boundaries of what we know, simulations help drive scientific discovery. We've covered the basics of simulating evolutionary processes, from genetic variation and natural selection to the role of environment and the power of visualization. Simulations are invaluable tools for understanding evolution, testing hypotheses, and applying insights to real-world problems. As technology advances, these tools will become even more powerful and accessible. Simulating evolutionary processes opens a window into the dynamic and ever-changing story of life. By modeling how organisms adapt and change, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and beauty of nature. Whether for research, education, or curiosity, evolutionary simulations inspire us to keep exploring the mysteries of life and evolution.